You're an infinite creator who's eternal on a never-ending journey. You're climbing a staircase that has no end, right? So the more we align with the absolutes of I am going to move forward, I am going to learn, I am going to figure it out, I am going to enjoy this process, the more we can savor and experience the process, because then you're going to get more feedback. Welcome to the Do the Impossible podcast. I'm Jason Drees. Remember to go to MondayMindsetReset.com to join me every Monday for a 20-minute mindset alignment on me. On today's coaching session, join me as I work with a client named Adam who was at a point and he wasn't really sure which direction to go, and he needed assistance figuring out if he was on the right track or not. So Adam, great to connect with you today. How can I help? What would you like coaching on today? What should we talk about?
Well, to be honest with you, Jason, I'm just in this personal development space where I'm kind of trying to work towards just a bigger life in a lot of areas of my life. I guess the big thing for me right now is kind of moving out of my W-2 and into I'd like to move out of my W-2 and into becoming a full-time entrepreneur. So I guess, yeah, you want me to keep talking or where do you want to go from there?
Keep going. I'm still listening. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I kind of went through this thing. I'm an engineer, have an engineering background, civil engineer. Started doing some real estate investing on the side about, a few years ago. And it's been kind of a struggle and I kept pushing and I got to a point where I found some partners I was working pretty consistently with, and we ended up having some success this year and closed a few deals. And, I think it took me to get to that point to realize that I don't know that, at least not the path I was on, it seemed a little out of alignment for me. And it was just kind of a constant struggle. And so right now I'm in the process of pivoting into trying to acquire a business, like some business in the service industry, and maybe get away from the active, being a real estate syndicator as I have been focused on trying to do for the last couple of years. So kind of shifting from that into something that at least right now feels way more in alignment is kind of what I'm working towards. But obviously there's still hesitations. I put a lot of time into the real estate stuff and just kind of shifting. There's probably a little reservations there. So I'm just trying to move myself along and really move forward to where I want to get to.
Okay. So thank you for sharing your situation. What would you like coaching on?
What would I like coaching on? I guess, how do I move forward with confidence? How do I know if I'm in alignment and going in the right direction?
Okay.
So trial and error?
Well, I'm still figuring out myself, right? So the simple answer, do you know what a frame is?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got action, mindset, frame, right? So the simple answer, the way to know if you're going in the right direction is to be in a frame where you'll know if you're going in the right direction. Which sounds kind of ridiculous and simple. But we now have the ability to operate our lives at a higher level than before. I discovered this about 3 years ago, right? Where we can actually start shifting frames and shifting versions of ourselves. And it's happening faster than ever before. What's actually happening is that we grew up in the world where action created our reality. So we spent all of our time obsessing over strategy and action. Now, strategy and action comes from mindset. Mindset comes from your frame, right? So your frame creates your mindset. Mindset creates your action. So as you're focusing and moving in this direction, You're wondering, am I on the right track? And you're getting input. You're getting input from life. You're getting emotional input, positive emotions, negative emotions, confidence, lack of confidence, doubt, certainty, those types of things. That's input you're getting. The simplest way to know is to put yourself in the frame where you will know if you're in alignment. Because that's like the frame you're operating in, as opposed to a frame that's in alignment with a target. Because you can be like, I'm 100%, I'm going to hit this target. It's going to be this thing. I'm going to make this money or do this thing. But there's also your process as a frame too. So you want to also be aware of architecting the frame you're operating from in a daily basis. So can you get a sense of a version of you that knows when you're on the right track?
I can. I think I feel in that frame a lot of the times, and then I feel like, you know, there's times when I regress and maybe some self-doubt creeps in, but I do feel like I've been in that frame.
So it's not regression. We think it's regression, but it's actually evolution. Because you were aligned here today, and the next day you're here, you're out of alignment. Then you get back in alignment the day after that. So alignment is not a perpetual state, because you're not, you haven't stopped growing. Your growth is like this right now, right? It's off the charts. The amount you're growing now compared to like 5 years ago, right? It's like this, right? So you're going to be out of alignment half the time.
Okay.
So I'll do my best on this call to get you into alignment right now. But as you grow and expand, you'll get kicked out of alignment again, because what kicks you out of alignment is the next evolutionary piece of you.
Okay.
So we want to be in a frame where we notice this, we don't resist this, so that we bounce back faster.
Okay.
Okay. So can you right now get a sense of the version of you that knows when you're in alignment?
Yes.
And can you get a sense of the version of you that knows when you're on the right track?
Yes.
Okay. Just keep 50% of your awareness on that frame. And that's kind of where most people get out of, make the mistake in frame shifting, is they try to pry the answers out of the new frame too fast. Because you're like, okay, I know that, I can sense that version. I want to be that version. Tell me what the answer, tell me, right? We want it to come, but it doesn't work that way. You're an infinite creator who's eternal on a never-ending journey. You're climbing a staircase that has no end, right? So the more we align with the absolutes of, I am going to move forward, I am going to learn, I am going to figure it out, I am going to enjoy this process, the more we can savor and experience the process, because then you're going to get more feedback. The more feedback you're going to get, like, am I on the right track? Like today, I realized all of the efforts I've been trying to build Mindset Academy over the past year started from a place of reaction. What was that? Started from a place of reaction. What is beeping? Hold on a second. It's Teams. So, do you hear that? Just me.
I did a minute ago. I'm not hearing anything at the moment.
Anyway, forgot to turn off that app. So I had been taking all this action for like months and months and months to try to solve this problem in the business, or this thing I thought was the problem, but it wasn't actually the primary problem. It was the secondary problem. But the point of sharing that with you is there was always a little heaviness to it. It never went away.
Mm-hmm.
Which was my indication that that's not the right path. because my answer, I was reacting to less introductory coaching sessions being scheduled in the business, which was causing the revenue to decrease. So I was like, oh, what should I do about this? And I didn't know how to get more intro sessions. So I was like, well, Mindset Academy, let's do that. And then we'll do Mindset Academy, and then we'll add Mindset Academy coaching. And it made so much sense. But if this was solved, I wouldn't have actually done all that. So when you're operating on this path and you're questioning yourself, am I on the right path? Is there a consistent lightness and alignment, or is there a consistent heaviness there?
I'd say before with my path, there was a consistent heaviness. And now I'd say, in the last few months, as I've pivoted a little bit, it's been way more light than heavy.
Good.
So it feels good.
Yeah. Well, excellent. Okay.
So I guess you're saying, and I guess part of my question too is like, well, how do you know if it's, if you're just kind of in that shifting temporarily out of alignment, but you're on the right path, versus you got this heavy feeling because you're on the wrong path. And maybe I think I'm hearing that it's just more stick with it. If it's constantly heavy, then you're probably on the wrong path. And if it's just kind of temporary shifts, that means you're probably just growing. Is that what I'm gathering you're saying?
It can be, but like that I'm explaining that process for me, how it is for me as best I can, because I only experience my own process. So you could be on a path of destiny that you're going to have a train crash because you're supposed to have that train crash. Like sometimes there's like things in life that are supposed to happen, right? Like that you just can't avoid. Now that we can't avoid certain things like that, if that's your destiny. But the recurring heaviness is an indicator that you're on the wrong path. Or really, like, do you want to do that? You can also just do that. Do I want to, like, the path you're on, do you want to go that direction?
Right.
But what usually will bring more clarity is by operating in certainty at a global frame. Because you can be, am I taking the right decision, right or left? What should I be doing? And then you could also be, but you could be operating in a global frame of, I don't know if I'm on the right track. You could also operate from a global frame that says, I know if I'm on the right track, because I will find the right track, because I will not stop until I do. That second frame, which has a decision in it, creates certainty. So that global frame has certainty. So now the global frame you're operating within is a place of certainty instead of a frame of doubt. So it's usually easier to do that. We can always get you to certainty by going non-specific. I'm going to be successful. I don't know how. How do I know I'm going to be successful? I'm not going to stop until I do. 100% certain. Now, what am I going to solve here? Let's try it out. I know I'm going to figure it out. Is this the right way? But a lot of times, until we set that global frame of certainty, when we're in doubt here, it creeps out to this frame up here.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Kind of reminds me of just, enjoying the process and kind of understand where you want to go, and the how will just kind of happen, I guess.
The how shows up automatically when you're in the right frame. So if it's not showing up automatically, you're not in the right frame.
Okay. And so, obviously being on this call with you is a great thing. If I'm in my day-to-day, how do I go about shifting into a proper frame, or making sure I'm in a proper frame?
The easiest way is just to do a morning routine and shift in the morning. And then you can also create frames that you will know when you're out of alignment. Those are frames as well. So you can do these by yourself, but when you're learning this, it will go exponentially faster with a coach, because
Right.
you
Okay.
can't see your own patterns you're stuck in. So it's almost like it's less about making success happen and more about being in the environment where success is guaranteed to happen. But that's not how our brains work the old way. If I want a success, I have to take an action to make it happen. So we end up thinking our success is going to be dependent on my ability to I create and run a winning strategy. But that's backwards. It's the mental environment that actually aligns with life and the law of attraction that gives you the success, because it goes frame, mindset, action, not action, mindset, frame.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like, be the version where it will happen. Oh, absolutely. Okay, what are the next steps I should take? Versus I got to solve and figure it out. Because if you're like, I don't know what to do, you're in a frame that's not in line with it happening, and it will never happen until that global frame shifts.
Okay.
That was easy. Anything else?
No, I think I gotta let that sit a little bit. That's good. That's a good perspective to have. I like the global frame shift versus getting caught in the weeds and the minute details. That's very good. That's helpful.
So let's align it. So repeat after me. I take full ownership of my life and everything in it.
I take full ownership of my life and everything in it.
I understand the truth
I understand the truth
that if I want to achieve something
that if I want to achieve something
or learn something
or learn something
or do something,
or do something,
I don't need to figure out how.
I don't need to figure out how.
I simply need to shift
I simply need to shift
into the version of me that knows how.
into the version of me that knows how.
Then I will know how.
Then I will know how.
I believe this 100%.
I believe this 100%.
I past, present, and future.
Past, present, and future.
All versions of me.
All versions of me.
I take ownership of any reference contradictory to this.
I take ownership of every reference contradictory to this,
And I release it now.
and I release it now.
I take ownership
I take ownership
of my ability
of my ability
to create my reality
to create my reality
now.
now.
How's that?
Feels good.
Yes. You good?
Yeah. Feel better.
Excellent. So do some morning routines, do some frame shifting. If you know what the specific frame is, do the specific frame. If you don't know what the specific frame is, do the non-specific frame. Do that consistently every morning and watch what happens.
Okay.
All right.
Will do.
You good, Adam?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
You've been great.
Excellent. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the Do the Impossible podcast. Remember to go to freeintrosession.com to get your experience of coaching to start moving your goals to you faster than ever before. And join me next week as we continue this evolution into the mindset of greatness, the greatness needed to do impossible things. I'm Jason Drees. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.